Throughout the past decade, it feels like Battlefield has never been able to reclaim the same success that they had with games like Battlefield 3 and 4. It's like after dropping Battlefield 4, it felt like they kept dropping mediocre titles back to back. Every game between Hardline to 2042. 2042 obviously being on the worst end of that spectrum. With Hardline, they completely abandoned the whole military shooter aspect by making it a cops and robbers simulator. That wasn't really received too well in comparison to the other games before it. Multiplayer was still kind of fun, it just didn't feel like a Battlefield game. It felt more like Payday, but with Battlefield mechanics. They then decided to ditch the whole modern warfare aspect and go back to making World War II styled games with Battlefield 1 and 5. Then we get to 2042, which is hands down the worst Battlefield I have ever fucking played. I'm pretty sure I trashed that game on launch when it first came out. And it's gotten somewhat better, but let's keep it real, it's forever gonna go down as the worst Battlefield game ever. Now, fast forward 4 years later, after the events of 2042, we get a new trailer for the latest Battlefield game, which is Battlefield 6. And judging by the trailers, the way it's looking, I feel like Battlefield 6 is going to be righting a lot of the wrongs that they did with the series within the last 10 years. Now, after 2042, I'm very cautious when it comes to Battlefield games. I'll say after Battlefield 5, but 2042 took it to a lower level. But caution aside, after watching all the Battlefield 6 trailers, I'm excited for this game. They're bringing back campaign. It looks like the destruction, which is the main appeal for the multiplayer in my opinion, has been amped to a crazy fucking level. And most importantly, it looks more grounded. For the first time in a while, it feels like they're actually taking themselves seriously. Now, the first trailer I watched was the reveal trailer, which was basically the reveal of the campaign. Distressed politicians, exploding helicopters, buildings collapsing. The way it's looking like terrorism is the main villain of the game. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I've always enjoyed the Battlefield campaigns, specifically 3, 4, and the Bad Company games. Hardline was okay, I just didn't feel like it fit anywhere in the series. I feel like since they do so good with the multiplayer aspect of the game, Battlefield doesn't really get acknowledged as much for its campaigns. But the 360 era of Battlefield, those campaigns throughout each game, they were stellar. So it's good to see that they're coming back with a full-fledged story. Now, after I saw the campaign, I'm like, oh shit, this looks really good, but I didn't feel like I had enough information to talk about it. Then we got the multiplayer trailers like a few days later, and I'm thinking it was just gonna be a one and done thing like the reveal trailer. Man, they were releasing trailers back to back. I think we got like 3 trailers within that day, and then a couple days later we got like 3 or 4 more. Ever since revealing the multiplayer between Battlefield's YouTube channel and IGN, we've just been getting back to back multiplayer trailers, as well as like 10-minute long gameplay footage. And as cautious as I am, fuck it, they got me. I'm excited for the game. Do I think it's gonna be another 2042 situation? No, I don't. When it comes to bad launches or bad games period out of the Battlefield series, 2042 is in a league of its own. That shit was actually terrible. Hardline 1 and 5 had its issues, but not a single one of them in my opinion was as bad as 2042. So I still kinda have a little faith in this series in comparison to other video game franchises that gone off the rails. But with Battlefield 6, it feels like they're treating it like its savior. Like them multiplayer trailers, the way it's looking, everything and anything is destructible. You can pull out a rocket launcher and level a fucking house if you wanted to. And you could do it in the other games, obviously, but it feels like they're doing a lot more with the destruction in this game in comparison to the others. The return of class-specific weapons, as well as the destruction and grounded realism, seems to be the main selling point of the game. It's being treated as the true successor to Battlefield 3 and 4, and I believe it. Judging from the gameplay footage that I've seen, sound design especially feels very Battlefield 3 and 4 coded. Like if you were to imagine what Battlefield 3 or 4 were to look like if they released it with today's technology, the multiplayer for Battlefield 6 kind of looks like that. Now mind you, this is just footage. We actually have the opportunity to see for ourselves next Friday and Saturday when the open beta releases for all consoles. So then I'll get the opportunity to play for myself to see how it fares. Which, speaking of consoles, another reason why I'm excited for it, It's not releasing on the PS4 or the Xbox One. That shit came out 12 to 13 years ago. There's no reason why games should be still releasing on the older consoles. Them prioritizing Battlefield 6 for current gen consoles makes me feel a little bit more secure. Now, as I said a minute ago, I'm very excited for this game. Despite what happened with 2042 and the games that came before it, I mean, yeah, I'm hella excited for this shit. I think this could be the one to bring back the series. It feels like they're aware of how bad the series has gotten throughout the years after the release of Battlefield 4, and it feels like they're trying to go back to a time where they were actually good and respected, and they're trying to see if they can replicate it for the current installment. And I think they're doing it at the perfect time. Call of Duty is in a very weird space right now. Hell, I said in my last video, I feel like they lost their identity because they continuously tried to steal ideas from Fortnite. Call of Duty has become a Fortnite copycat. Their battle pass formula with all the wacky fucking skins and the celebrity movie crossovers they've been doing, you can't take them seriously. You got Beavis and Butthead and American Dad characters running around with AKs shooting up maps. So the fact that DICE is going in this direction with Battlefield 6, I think is really clever. It's very reminiscent of Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty Ghosts. Because I think another reason why I liked Battlefield 4, it was the first time in a long time where I felt like they had a legitimate win against Call of Duty. Because see, Ghost was considered the worst COD at the time. And then you get Battlefield 4, which a lot of people consider one of the best Battlefields at that time, or in general. It put Call of Duty Ghosts to shame, pun intended. Now, granted, that's a little different because at the time, that was their first slip up in like a long time, if not ever. So their reputation was still pretty strong at that time. Their reputation being Call of Duty's reputation. But now it's completely different. Granted, Battlefield's reputation isn't as good as it used to be, but if they do what I think or what I hope they plan on doing with Battlefield 6, I think it can restore it. If you're a military simulator and your competition is putting fucking Ricky Spanish and Barbie dolls in their game, they're basically giving you an alley-oop. That's the perfect time for you to pull a 180, Battlefield 6 being that 180. And since we're talking about skins, another reason why I have a little more faith in Battlefield this year is because of an article I read off IGN about Battlefield 6. The title being, "With Call of Duty's obsession with goofy skins, firmly entrenched Battlefield 6 dev commits to gritty realism." The entire article was then basically explaining how much they want the game to be as grounded and realistic as possible. All those goofy Ninja Turtle skins that you see in other first-person shooters, you shouldn't expect to see them in this one. Now, as I said earlier, I still think it's okay to be cautious because, once again, 2042 was fucking disgusting. Also, it's an EA game. Like, as much as I like Battlefield, EA's behind it. There's always some bullshit with something that's attached to EA. But despite it all, I want to have faith in this one. I feel like Battlefield 6 could be Battlefield's version of Modern Warfare 2019. Because when 2019 was coming out, I think I said this in my last video, there was a lot of hype around it, for me at least. Call of Duty was in a very weird space at the time. You know, after the release of Ghost, they never really properly recovered. And then when 2019 came out, or when it was coming out, that was the main thing they were going for, that grounded, gritty realism. The hype around that game made it seem like they were going to be either pushing an envelope or going back to the games that made them what they were. They wanted to regain their reputation. The Call of Duty era of exosuits and future wars was coming to an end, and the Modern Warfare reboot was supposed to be the answers to all of their problems. I feel the same hype with Battlefield 6. I believe that this could be their Modern Warfare reboot. And to make matters better, if DICE hit a home run with Battlefield 6, I think that could help improve Call of Duty. I truly believe good competition breeds good quality. The reason why they were able to get away with all the dumb shit that they've been doing is because they never had a proper competitor. And the times when Battlefield did release a game during a year that Call of Duty released it, it was some bullshit. Battlefield 6 could be its wake-up call. Competition is good in gaming. Competition is good in general. And the main people who profit from both companies doing the best they can to outshine the other in a good way are the consumers. Think about it, we had Battlefield 3 and Modern Warfare 3 released in the same year. We were eating. Imagine if they can pull it off again. Now, unlike Call of Duty, Battlefield doesn't release like every year, which I think is a good thing. And that also kind of goes into why I hated 2042, but we'll talk about that in a minute. Them not releasing every year and releasing only every 3 or 4 years, I feel gives them more than enough time to prioritize certain aspects of the game, both in visuals, gameplay, and campaign. It gives them time to ensure good quality, which, as I said, is a reason why I hated 2042, because they release every 3 or 4 years. I don't understand how you have a game that you release every few years and it still comes out glitchy and laggy as shit. With the amount of time that they have to make these games, I don't think they really have the excuse of having bad launch titles. But that's just my opinion. Now, even though I said that I am optimistic for Battlefield 6, I'm still not pre-ordering that shit. I don't understand pre-ordering, period, but in this case specifically, I am not pre-ordering this shit, and I kind of don't understand anybody who would. It's good to be cautious, or it's good to be optimistic in this sense. It's understandable to be optimistic, but I don't understand pre-ordering a game from a company that has a history of hit and misses within the past 10 years. Me personally, I've never really had an issue with waiting until the first day to play the game. Like, paying an extra $30 to play the shit like 2 days earlier, I don't understand that logic, but in this case specifically, it being a modern Battlefield game and being an EA game, I don't understand the idea of pre-ordering. But that's just me. But that's all I really have to say about Battlefield 6. You know, I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see what happens. The sound design really got me. The way it's looking, it feels like they're bringing back the sound design from Battlefield 3 and 4. The gunshots, the explosions, the bullet ricochets, the sound design for this game, it's very reminiscent of Battlefield 3 and 4. Then hey, who knows, you know, to wrap up this video real quick, if this shit goes out pretty good, who knows, maybe we'll get a Bad Company 3. I've been asking for that shit for years. I don't think we're ever gonna get that, but it's good to be optimistic. But hey, that's all I got for y'all, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this episode of Reggie TV. Let me know, do y'all plan on buying Battlefield 6 when y'all get the chance? Me personally, I do. Shit, I gotta make content somehow. And I wanna play it, I'm gonna keep it real. But yeah, that's all I got for y'all. I'll see you on the next one, and I'm out.